Good. I love that. That's gonna open up everything for your style, Supreme. Yeah.
There you go. Go to the body. Go to the body. Body shot that low.
Maria, Key.
Yeah, come on, join in,
You
guys.
understand what I'm saying? If your dream is to be there, you better realize what's up there. Okay. Yeah, because it's levels. We're just warming up still. What you're doing is far from enough to really make it happen. But when you get this, I can trust that you got the stuff that's gonna make a champion.
Yeah, what's up, people?
We'll get there. Because most people think getting to the title is the thing. No, that's when the fun starts. That's when it really gets tough. Like getting there is hard. Keeping it, y'all saw Lopez. You know what I'm saying? You saw Cambosis. Thanks to Paul. Paul connected us. He told me about him. I went and got him and put him on our show. Told him exactly what he needed to do to beat to beat Lopez. And he did it. He didn't come on the show to fight Devin Haney and he lost. You get it? It's levels. And we own them. That's it. But learn this stuff, man. This is how to fight a taller guy. Watch this. Watch this. Use the weaves to get in. Believe in your skills. These are two heavy hitters. Believe that you can stop a man by throwing combinations. Offense becomes defense. Up jabs. Up jabs. Don't gas up. There you go, girl. Watch your head. Bob and weave. That's what we call, that's a circle of violence. That entire round. We got 12 minutes left for the whole thing. That entire round, it was only hard punches. And that guy, the taller one, he was hitting guys and they were having headaches. And so was one of the other guys who actually wasn't on this video, but he was there. He was there currently, but he didn't make this video. But I'm telling you, these dudes was hitting hard. And as soon as that guy just finished that round, this circuit right here, oh, he couldn't even talk. He was drooling. He was like, yo, you tried to knock my ass out. Like he had his mouthpiece in and was hanging out his mouth. Watch this combination. Watch this combination. He just looked at the camera, turned to me and was like, yo, coach, you tried to knock my ass out. Like, look, he throwing smoke. The one with the Masterr boxing shirt on. He dug down, bent them knees. Primo 6'1". Watch this. There you go, girl. Watch your head. Real shot. Because the first thing gonna happen, you're gonna already be above everybody else, and you haven't even went into the school yet, because you got the keys to be better than everybody. Now all you got to do is put the work in, and challenge yourself. I'm gonna put this link down here.
So, quick question: once I get in the school and I'm registered, is each video I have to, like, each video is gonna be I have to pay for it in the school?
No.
Okay,
you pay to get access to the stuff. I mean, but we prepare you from, we call this K through college.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what you just saw was the system, and your brain is used to just going into the gym and boxing. So now you're gonna go to kindergarten. You're gonna open up and you're gonna learn your ABCs, because you got a whole new vocabulary to learn, right? You saw it. You seen what was on that board. You don't know none of that stuff. So you got.
What's up, my people? What's up, my people? Coach Bradley's in the building. You know we got to get it popping. I had to give you guys just a sneak preview of what went on last week with the Art of Sparring, the Master Class Level 1. This series is going to be something that we have to give you guys to really give those of you who are at a level of boxing that you don't have access to true high level stuff. So what you guys would have seen, special shouts out to you. Thanks for taking the time to tune in to us. But what you do not get access to, which you will never, not on YouTube, not on Instagram, I don't care where you go. Real gym stuff is real gym stuff. Systems versus programs, it's a real thing. At best, you're probably in a program, or one of you guys out there who might be coaching. If you coach, let me know, drop it in the comment box. I'm going to get back to this program, but what we want you guys to understand is going on in the sport of boxing. And it's on a very, very large scale. We're talking 87 to 90% of the people who are doing and working with these fighters are under trained. They're under groomed. They do not have a book to pull from that really shows them how to do it. Therefore, you always see these fights happening when you're watching boxing. And every time you're turning around, you're like, what's going on? What is he doing? And that is because of this one particular reason, which is these guys are undertrained. And that's what's going on in the sport. We're turning it around. So when we show those guys on the inside what it actually looks like when you are boxing and you have the wherewithal to see what a real program looks like. No one on that show last week that you guys are about to watch now, because there was a panel of over 20 people. No one, even the guys who were in the game, actually active training or active fighters, had ever seen how you prepare for sparring ever before. They never seen the right way to do it. And there is a right way to do it. Some of you go in there, you turn on your music, you wrap your hands up, you put your mouthpiece in, you grease up, and then you get in the ring and start sparring. You might shadow box, or you might jump rope. That is not how you go spar. And that's kind of what we wanted to show people, so we can depict some of these things that's going on in the sport. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop out of this. And if you want to opt in to seeing the entire show, not this clip, because this is only like 15 minutes that we're going to show you. The show on its entirety was a complete, it's 47 to 48 minutes of pure tea secrets of boxing, stuff you don't see. You can't Google it. You can't go to YouTube and say, what's inside of this box, which is a thing. You can't Google these things. They're not terms that Google recognizes. And it's the Bible inside of boxing, the kind of things that you will never get exposed to. So therefore, we had an opportunity to give these people a chance to opt in to the Top Trainer U program, which is our level 2 program. We got 4 levels. One for people that are introduced to boxing, which is boxing training, prep school. That's level 1. That's for people who just want to utilize boxing for some fitness, learn a little bit about getting used to the vocabulary, and really get down some fundamentals. Then there's level 2, which is the Top Trainer version. Personal trainers, striking coaches, people who want to work with athletes, real athletes, and people who are coming into fitness kind of gyms, pretty much. Just say UFC gym, Mayweather Boxing Fitness, that want to work with people, but have more insight to how to work with those people. So there are people who will come over from football and they want to do some boxing. There are people that go over to places like Delray Boxing, like Kevin James, the actor, and he wants to really box. He want to really learn some boxing. And sometimes these fitness trainers are working with boxers. They're doing it for fitness, but they want to really have a grasp on the fundamentals of boxing so they can really give them what they kind of need along with their fitness trainer. That's level 2. So if that falls in your category, if you're a fitness trainer working with people and you really might time to time get somebody in there that's really from a real athletic sport, a combat sport, then you want to have level 2. Level 3 is for people that's fighting in tournaments, high level amateurs. That's level 3 in our program. All right. That's that championship you. That's the version of this that we got real top athletes that are amateur and doing things well, and coaches who are working with competitive athletes. That's a buy-in for our program. And then you got level 4, which is prize fighter you, people who are working with professional fighters. If I go over here to Sanford MMA, if I go over here to American Top Team, if I go over here to Top Rank Boxing, if I go over here to any of the elite programs, if I walk into Freddie Roach's gym and say, hey, here's something that you can take all the anxiety out your head. If I go work with any MMA gym, then they get that next level stuff. People, when you're working with everybody has an opportunity to get where they fit in. We meet you where you are. But remember, you got to know what you are using it for. So if you know what you're using the boxing for, then you make sure, damn, I look so smooth in this Masterr boxing gear. Y'all like that color? It's fly to death. And we representing my lineage. So I thank those guys. And this is a representation. And so whatever you're doing, no matter if you're level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, make sure you're representing the sport. Make sure you're learning what you need to know. Don't get out there and on skates on ice and then be sliding around all off balance, trying to figure things out. And you really don't know what you're doing. Get into a program, be a professional, act like a professional at least, and then take what you're learning and apply it to what you're doing. And then you won't have that fear and anxiety of what we call that imposter syndrome, because you know you're not educated the right way. Stealing clips from Instagram and YouTube is not being educated. All right. So you got to do it the right way. And we're trying to make sure that we ghost bust all these people out here and giving them an opportunity to do it right. So that's why we did it. And we showed you what it looks like. I guarantee you, which one of you out here are actually active in the sport of combat, whether it's mixed martial arts and if it's boxing, let us know. Even if you're working in a UFC gym or MMA or Mayweather boxing, or there are so many different, 9 rounds. Let us know down in the comment box. I see a couple of people. Special shouts out to my man. What's going on? Camila. It's good to see you, Bruno. Coach, let me see. Let me see this question. I'm taking a couple of questions before I go. All right. Do you have Q&As? Yeah. Yes, you can. Let me know what you have to ask, and I will definitely answer. We typically do our Q&As on Thursday, which it is. Unfortunately, we got a hurricane going on, but I was going to just play that video, but I didn't feel like that was right. I needed to connect and let you guys know this is a serious sport. We've lost so many fighters in boxing to dying. And one of the young men last week spoke to that, and he was like, in Canada there are no coaches that really know the sport, how to really teach it, and fighters are getting hurt. That's a problem. Am I going to come in and start working with fighters one-on-one? That's not my deal. Now, if you're under Masterr boxing tutelage, if you register into our program and you want to get worked and you want to get seen and you want someone to look over you and check you out, I'm going to do that. It's my responsibility to make sure that you're on the right track, on the right path. That's what I do. That's my job. I'm not a full-time coach anymore. I'm a professor. I write the books, I oversee, and I make sure that the sport of boxing is in a good place. I aid when it comes down to the people who are actually working big events, whether it's, let me see what your question is. Screen is for, let me check it. So why trainers convert southpaw to orthodox like Oscar De La Hoya, Andre Ward, Cotto, which I believe southpaw is a big advantage. It is no particular reason. Sometimes you just want to stay more active. You feel more comfortable with the strong hand in front. It could be a little bit lazy. You forgot to mention Bud Crawford, the pound for pound current GOAT. I think when a fighter is doing that, it gives them an advantage if he understands how to defend well. If he doesn't defend well, then it gives him a disadvantage. Oscar De La Hoya, once he started using the Philly shell defense that was taught to him by Floyd Mayweather Sr., his defense got better. The minute he got away from that, he started to get exposed, which is why he got stopped by Manny Pacquiao. If you know how to use the Philly shell defense and the rolling shoulder, you don't get stopped in fights. Okay. That defense just protects you from everything. And being southpaw, switching, it's an ability that you have. Like my son, he fights in southpaw stance when he's boxing, but he's really not a southpaw. He's not even ambidextrous. But the thing about it is it feels better, but you got to train that other way so that that muscle memory is comfortable. So therefore, they do it because it feels comfortable than the other way. And it does allow you to hit person harder when you got your right hand up front. And so you just want to have more activity and you want to do more damage. So typically it's boxer punchers that like to do that. So that was a great question though. Why do people actually do that? So let me see. We got another question. You're a great salesman. Selling wolf tickets. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you my resume is a lot sharper though. You know, I've been said to do some good things. I've been said to do some bad things. I'm a human being, but guess what? I got the resume to prove my metal, and a lot of posers always feel like uh, it causes some kind of beautiful shining light on you, but it actually makes you expose yourself. So thanks for exposing yourself, champ, because people here know who I am. You're blocked. Uh, let me see. Let me see another good question. What's the fight way prepare for sparring? What's the right way? You got to go through a sequence. It's a series of training. It's not a right way. It's the only way to prepare your body for sparring, because fighting isn't something that is natural to a person as a human being. You have to condition that. So when you understand physiology, then it really matters that you have understanding of what it's supposed to be like. That's why when you look at the fighters from the days of old, it makes you really clear on what is really typical when it comes to preparing the body for something that the body wasn't meant to do. If you watch a football game, if you watch football, or if you watch basketball, you're probably trying to figure out, why do they get on the field and they get injured so much? And if you saw what they did in preparation, you'd be like, how do they get injured if they're so warmed up? Because it's not anything that the body was meant to do. So understanding human mechanics, kinematics of human motion, and physiology from the inside out, ligaments, bones, sockets, joints, all of that comes into play. So you got to implement all of that before you even spar. So that's the right way to spar. You got to have a system. And a lot of people do not understand that. They just think you can get stuff from Instagram. Yeah, let me see. Any tips for being scared to compete? Yeah, don't compete. Fear is natural. It's what you do with the fear that separates what you're going to be from who you are. You got to step up, because how you do anything is how you do everything. If you are afraid to spar and you don't spar because you're afraid, that means anything that gives you anxiety, you run from. So you got to break that habit. That's why dads put their kids in boxing or wrestling, because they don't want their kids to live in fear. So see yourself visually as a matador, a gladiator. Put it in your mind, close your eyes, and see yourself as David versus Goliath, and see yourself as Maximus from 300 and think about that's you. Be courageous and then start shadow boxing and warming up. And even if you got to use theme music to get yourself motivated, then you do that. But the thing is, don't let fear overtake you in no one area, because if you ever start quitting and stopping things because of fear, that's how you'll always act. So don't let that control you. All right. Never. Former coach here. Hey, what's going on, Alex? Did you coach boxing? Let me know a little bit about yourself. I want to make sure I know all the coaches, because you might have to come out of retirement, because there are a lot of coaches in the game right now that are truly, truly not doing a good service. A lot of these guys are doing their best, but they need access to stuff that'll help them. And that's what we do for those guys. We give them opportunities to opt into Top Training U. We got a group on Facebook. It's the School of Boxing. And then we have Master Boxing Skills Training. If you want to get into any of those groups, you go register online. You can find anywhere to register, or message us your information, your email, your number, your contact, and someone will provide you with the information that's necessary. But what you got to realize is, in boxing, you got to get educated, or you'll just get guys to a certain level and then they'll get dominated. And you see it in the tournaments all the time. All right. Hey, what's going on, Cristo Ronaldo? I'm glad you guys have popped in. Let me see. My man said fights was hurting for a couple of days. Let me see. Facts. I then got into fights and body was hurting for. Did you have a boxing match or just a fight? Because I wouldn't suggest fighting. When you can box in a real fight, that's a very, very, very tough situation. Because guys will they'll pull out on you if you too good. You know what I'm saying? So be careful, champ. We don't want to see that. Coach Paul Roberts, School of Boxing in the building. What should a fighter eat before he is sparring, coach? First of all, you don't eat before you spar. That's not a good thing. Your keys is make sure you hydrate your body, get a good shape. I make sure that you are putting things in you that's going to revive your body. All right. Just make sure that when you're eating, that you're getting something that is in your system higher in fiber, right? That doesn't, you don't want your body going, because if we do body shot drill training, and if you're taking body shots, then you don't want to feel food in your stomach. You're doing damage that's going to accumulate, and it's going to show up later in life in a major kind of way. So you got to be careful. Make sure that you satiate your body. Like if you're getting ready to go into the gym and you feel some form of like a lack of nutrients, you feel like a little fatigue, suck on you a piece of candy, a cough drop or something of sorts, echinacea or something that, and then I always would keep, you can get some sea moss gel, and boom, and all of those minerals in your body, and you feel strong and you feel that strength, and boom, bam. And you can just use things those are the secrets of boxing, right? Sugar Ray Robinson and the boys used to rub meat grind on their face and drink blood, but it was all about the minerals, right? So you can do that sea moss gel. They got different flavors of that, but sea moss is definitely, it's the magic source. Things of the earth, man. You can never go wrong. Let me see about the train coach and my client, and just ask, are you safe in your area? Yes, we aren't, we aren't out of the clear. The hurricane's still happening. I'm looking at it as I speak, but I just wanted to touch base with my people, and I was going to play a video, but I couldn't. But if you guys are wanting to see what we went over, you can register. Make sure you subscribe to the site. So right now, take a couple of seconds, subscribe to the site. Tomorrow, an email is going out to invite you to watch it, the entire um, show, and it was informative. And so for those who do boxing or working as a trainer or you're in the mixed martial arts world, make sure you do that. I can't make anybody do what they don't want to do, but if you want to learn something that's really, really profound, that's it. Anybody else got questions, let me know. uh I like the question that my man Mendoza asked about any tips on being scared to compete. You just gotta see what you want out of it, man, and take real pride in doing it. It's very important that some of us take liberty to pull up the reasons and write them down why you want to do it. And if that reason gets you off your butt, that's reason enough. So that's it, man. For those of you who want to watch the rest of that show, make sure you subscribe. Go up to the top of the page, and I think we got a link to. No, I think someone just dropped the link in the comment box. Go down there and do replay. Uh, DM us. I want the replay. That's what you do. DM us. I want the replay. It's informative. I know a lot of you just, kind of want to get skills, but you'll see a whole lot and skills as well, but you'll learn a lot. And so that's it, man. I want to send a special shout out to all of my brothers. I just want you guys to know that we got your back. If you are out here in the MMA world and you're running a gym, that we got you covered. Master Boxing Systems is the future and present, and it came from the past. And it will equip you in such a way that you never have to focus on what is it that you need to do again, ever. And you'll develop a winning culture because the system that we're using is a direct lineage of one of the most profound boxing systems in the history of the sport. There are just no other holes that can be filled. So if your interest is in going in that direction or taking your guys or running into these kind of tournaments and you want to be prepared, make sure you do that. Make sure you connect with us. Go up to the website. You can find masterboxingllc.com. Just visit that, check it out. And special shouts out to you for taking the time. I got another question. Let me see. Teach kid, you on the Philly shell. That's what I see. Is it important to teach kid Philly shell early, along with basic and southpaw stance? As I see your training lean towards Floyd Mayweather style. Well, you see clips that we put out, but it doesn't lean towards Floyd Mayweather style. My framework is around the greatest fighter who ever lived, which came way before Floyd Mayweather. We're talking about Archie, the old mongoose Moore, who was the most profound, balanced fighter in the history of boxing. Then you got Sugar Ray Robinson, who he just had a bigger brand when it comes down to it. He was a puncher. He was a boxer. He was a boxer puncher. And when you look at these guys, what you're going to find is a unique quality. Sugar Ray Robinson punch hard. That's why he knocked guys out, because he was bigger. He was 5'11" in the welterweight division. Archie Moore was 5'11" in the light heavyweight division, 175. So those guys, he wasn't the big guy up there. He was knocking guys out because he understands the science of boxing. And so he knew how to put punches together. So my system is based on that. So we got Philly shell, we got peekaboo, we got basics of boxing, we got the foundation of boxing, we got slick fighters. That's what we develop, guys who can use all of these different styles in one profound system. All right. We got the serious series of footwork circuitry. We got the development of professional athletes. So they develop their body so they can hit when they become pros. Every amateur who goes pro has this problem. When they go pro, they can't hit hard. And we got a system for that. So you may have seen a lot of videos with Floyd style. I mean, the Philly shell, but Philly shell wasn't owned by Floyd. I'm just built like Floyd. So it looks like I do a lot of that. So when you see it, it stands out, but we got peekaboo. But when you look at what we do and the movements in which I implement, every single thing I do, I sell it all the way through. So there's no one prolific style, because when you watch us do our basic footwork, it looks nothing like Floyd. When you see our basic defensive prowess, it's an entirety of every single craft. All right. We posture, we framework. You know what I'm saying? It's all different things. It's just an entire savage package. You'll see a lot of Andre Ward. You'll see a lot of Hopkins. You'll see a lot of Archie Moore. You'll see a lot of all of these guys. But then when you see it all done by the fighters, they look different than everybody else. When it's all said and done, they look very, very slick and sharp, and they all bang. So that's a complete fighter. So I'm glad you did pay attention, because whatever you see, we sell it all the way, because you got to be all the way in that spirit. So I could either look like Florida, I could look like some wankster who is trying to do the Philly shell, but we do it for real. James Tony co-signed on our Philly shell and rolling shoulder. And I don't get caught up in that fandom stuff, but that is my dude. When he co-signed on it, there ain't no greater rolling shoulder other than Jersey Joe Walcott than James Lights Out Tony. So I like what Floyd did in boxing as far as set the tone on how to live like a fighter. But other than that, no, I don't do the emulation thing. It's just when you got a style and you kind of built like the guy, it just looks like it's him. But I don't have to do a lot of that. It's just making sure that the guys understand what you got to have in order to master that, understanding how to tuck, understanding how to get in that cage, man. So but when it comes down to Archie Moore, I look like him. I walk like him. I talk like him. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing. Special shouts. I like the fact that people are picking up on things, though. Here's my brothers. Special shouts out to anybody that's up in New York. You need to go up there to Freeport Boxing and Fitness and check out my man, Coach Thomas Himmelberg. You want to learn the profound fundamentals of boxing. You want to really get educated, and you want to hear it in a way that it can land on your ear. You got your man right there. Go over to the page, Freeport Boxing Fitness, over here on Facebook. You can find them over here on Instagram. Make sure that your Instagram and your Facebook is sharp, coach. Because people they check. Coach Lane, hope your son is doing well, brother. His son, up and coming amateur, doing his thing. Special shouts out to my brother. Special shouts out to my brothers. They all have done what it takes, which is gotten educated, because there's so much that you guys don't know that you have to do as a coach. It's just like going to school and staying there for a whole year and being like, wow, that was good. I'm quitting in the second grade. You got to keep going, because it's so much you don't know. The guys who've been in the school 4 or 5 years, it's almost like yesterday, because I'm teaching them new stuff. We getting what you call immersed in our lessons. Now we're doing 3-day workshops, constant, where they have to really take in and digest what it is. That's how you really learn. There's so much to teach. I had to figure out in my school how to give it to them more in a shorter frame, but more dense amount. And that's what we did. We figured out how to give them a whole lot more. So now it's all in front of them. And then we get together and we kind of like go through it and pound it in, because it's never ending. I'm at the stage 3 decades in, and I came in at the highest level and I stayed up there. I never, did, whack shows in the professional level. It was always HBO pay-per-view kind of stuff and championship kind of stuff. Like I never, because I'm a direct bloodline. And so I got put right like Sugar Ray Leonard's son would be put. And so that's why you got to realize that the stuff that I'm putting out here for you guys to learn is of that era, is of that impact, is of a lineage. And what you don't know is why you're going to end up getting stung. So don't allow that to happen. Make sure that you prepare yourself. Let me take another question from YouTube. Coach, how do you know when to throw the chopping right hand versus the straight right hand? Um, Stephen James. So typically I would say, look, man, if that's a question you got to ask, you need to know a lot more than that, because what happens when they figure out you're going to throw the chopping right hand? If you decide to throw it again, what happens when you throw it the second time and the guy is a master boxing fighter and they say, well, he's throwing the chopping right hand, he's throwing that cross instead of the straight. All right, so when he throw that cross, then slip right over and rip him to the liver shot and over the top, wipe his nose with the left hook, and then step around, posture on him, and then lead him. Pop, pop. All right. So don't ask what you should do with the first time you throw it. You need to know that if I tell you that, I'm only going to put you in a situation where you're going to get countered because they know that's what you want to do now. That makes sense? Like I'm doing you a disservice to say, throw it now. And if you're fighting an educated fighter like the kids that are in Top Trainer U, our program, they're not going to let you get it again. You get it? They're going to catch you the next time and bait you in to throw it. That's what I'm going to tell them to do. That's what my coaches will tell them to do. That's why we get immersed in these skills settings. We did 3 hours on Friday. That's longer than people are at the gym. We did 3 hours on a stream like this, me going over every single situation and scenario so these guys could learn what it looks like when you're dealing with a Coach Bill Belichick, when you're dealing with a Tom Brady mind, when you're dealing with Elon Musk, when you're dealing with Bill Gates, when you're dealing with the best of the best. They cross all T's and dot all I's. You cannot get away with anything, bruh. You come in there and you don't know when is the perfect time to throw a punch. And then somebody say, throw it when you see, the whites of their eyes and their left hand is slightly under their cheekbone. Throw it then. Bam, and you catch him. And then the next time you throw it, I'm gonna say pull. Soon as he throw it, just pull it, and it's just going. And then I'm gonna come back and so an answer is to learn the how, when, why, and why not. Because all you want to know is when. There's 3 more questions you got to be able to answer. I hope that was education for y'all, because this is what's happening. Guys are going to get a skill. They've taken a skill from somewhere, and then they're trying to apply it. And then when you start fighting elite level guys, those guys are figuring it out after the first time. Because I'm very, very stingy. You steal any one of my fighters, and I'm going to make sure the next time you think that same shot is available, and then it's going to be, you're going to eat it. And so if you guys haven't registered for the next one, make sure you go up to the page. As a matter of fact, I'm going to type the link. Maybe you can register on this link, maybe not. I ain't sure. I think AOU bundle, mega bundle. So maybe you guys can go here. Check it there. Click that. I don't know if that's where you could probably buy it there, but don't. I think the registration for that viewing, you can see it, so you don't understand. And champ, I'm not dogging you. It's a great question, but I'm not a typical coach. I'm a professor. I see it all, and I don't want you to go down that road. But be careful about just taking guys and saying, I want to learn one skill. Give me a tip. It ain't no such thing as tips for elite level guys because it's always a counter to that tip. Now, when a dude crouch, you can throw a chopping right hand. Now, if he crouch and he know you're gonna throw a chopping right hand, don't throw it. Bait him. You're gonna have to bait him another way. So now you need to learn how to fight off your back foot, draw him in as if you're retreating and pop, poop, pop, and then learn how to do things that he never do. Go look at my reel. I just showed you a good back foot training workout and exercise, and I'm showing you how to be slippery with it. And you're so welcome, brother. So welcome. Get registered for that clinic, Stephen. Register for the clinic. It's free for you guys to learn. Of course, I'm going to sell you either into the school, like we got a couple of new people that popped in, but it was worth the time because they learning that you got to keep committing. I'm in a 8-month class with one of the smartest people in the world who's impactful. And what I could take his free course, or I could take his 2-day course, or I could be immersed with the learning. All wealthy people, all of the people who write the history books tell you when you get into anything that you need to learn, you need to immerse yourself in it, or you will not have a takeaway. It'll get caught up in tomorrow's laundry. The minute you stop doing it, you're going to start being back to your old stinking fart ways, and you'll never project and you'll never progress. Everybody that's up here at the top lives with the other people who think exactly like that. When you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that's where all of you feel most comfortable, that you're the guy or the number 2 guy. You don't even need to be the number 10 guy. You need to be in a room where everybody you talk to, you're learning from. All right. That's when you're in the right place. That's where you'll be. If you're in a circle with me, you're going to always be learning a whole lot more than you know. And if you don't feel comfortable in that space, I ain't got to worry about seeing you at the highest level or in the winner circle, because you won't be. That's just the way it is, because it ain't but so many circles that's projecting that kind of information and that kind of knowledge. Let me see. How many rounds a week do you recommend working in fainting? You faint all the time. You faint some point in every round, a multitude of times, because you always got to make them think twice. And a feint makes you think twice and not just once. But it usually comes after having a lot of success in something, going high or going low. And every time you introduce them to something that is working, a feint will follow. And there are a bevy of different feints. You get it, you got the shoulder, you got the head pop, and you got the total shift. There's a bevy of them. So you sound like you really box. You need to try to take a look at the Top Training You program. You'll probably fall into level 3, because I think if you box, you want to get into like real tournaments. I'm just taking a hint that you are serious about it, because you're asking some real questions. If worst case scenario, you box, so you need to really get where you can learn it, because you're not learning it. You're just getting tips. You're getting experience, but you're not going into the experience fully equipped for battle. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to be fully equipped for battle. So be very, very conscious of being more mindful than the other guy, right? Let me see. What's my man? James Lights Out Tony was doing the Philly shell before I knew who Floyd Mayweather was. Absolutely. Like, Floyd never mastered the rolling shoulder like James Tony. Tony stayed mid-range in the paint. He boxed taller guys from out far. He did things more constant that were more impressive, because he's fighting guys 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. All right. So you got to realize, don't go out here trying to do some of this stuff before you really understand how to really do it. And then you got every skill that you do takes a minimal of 848 hours to get it into you. That's a minimal. And I do it. I actually take fighters through these tests. and see how long it actually takes for them to accrue a skill into muscle memory. They do it right until you do it right, and then do it until you can't get it wrong, and then continue to do it and never ever stop doing it. And then have a system where you never ever miss your days of fainting, your days of clenching, your days of tucking, your days of all of these different skills. How can you wake up in the morning all over the place and overwhelmed by life and then think you're not going to miss anything in boxing to train in? So just be smart, man. Let me get out of here because I can talk to you guys all day long. The email for you guys is to go over here to the team directly, Stephen James, and that Art of Sparring. Email our team directly at support@masterboxingllc.com and let them know you want the workshop replay. The replay is insane. And anybody who didn't see it, you need to see it. If you got it already, if you got one of those programs, it don't matter. This ain't, it's that, but it ain't that. It's what you don't know now. You don't know. It's further, a deep look into it, a deeper dive into the methodology and the conversation. So for those of you who don't have that, make sure you do it. It's free. If you don't get something that's free, boy, that sucks. But you know, I'd be making sure that I solidify my next year of training. Immerse yourself in training. Immerse yourself in it. Have somebody over you, and this is what we're here for, to keep you embedded and grounded into this thing. So when you fight, you'll be way ahead of the guy that's in front of you and stuff. So that's it, man. That's all I got. Continue blessings to all of you guys who are here, and much special shouts out to my brothers in the School of Boxing, my people over on YouTube, Steph and James. It's good to meet with you. I hope you come up under the banner and we can help navigate your career and help you elevate and show you how to throw that chopping right hand, and then set them up with some back foot work. And then maybe we'll go ahead and put you down here after you've been and prove your point in that Philly shell rolling shoulder slash slick fighter program. That's it, man. Continue blessings. We out of here. Be safe. And I'll see you soon in the winner's circle. Master Boxing. We out.